let's take a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. So you can sit up on a blanket, you can sit in a chair, you can cross the legs or extend, but find that rootedness through the sits bones and the length through your spine. And let's take a moment to arrive in our bones, in our breath, in the body. I was just sort of mentioning that right now we are in a fire sun cycle. So this whole month is the fire sun, the cardinal fire. So that's the strike of the match that creates the light, that creates the movement of transformation. And then today the moon shifted, the moon is waxing. So we had the new moon a few days ago. And now the moon is waxing, so getting fuller, like the breath coming in. And today the moon moved into an air element, the mutable air element, which is the fastest moving of the air energies. It's our butterfly, it's our hummingbird, our Gemini aspect. And so in those energies, we want to go and do and change and hear and talk. And so just to sort of counter that by lengthening down into the earth. There's also some other influences right now in the air element, some Aquarius conjunction energy today between Mars and Saturn. And this week actually has a lot of energy. Venus moves into Pisces after spending 5 months in cycles that are not really her most comfortable position, which should bring a little bit of release and flow. But then we also go through the moon's week of air and water and fire. And so actually, we start to have that water element that will bring us into that balance of fire and water. And again, fire and water, don't really go together. But when they do, it is quite powerful to have transformation and intuition together. So just arriving in your space, in your body, noticing this moment. So fire and air often want to keep going forward. They want to rush the transformation, the next thing. And so being aware of now we do through the sensory body. So noticing sounds, smells, tastes, temperature. And then we can start to bring in the breath. And so slowing down the breath. And just take a few exhales out the mouth. So you start to slow down your breath. Letting the breath and the body come online. And then draw your hands up, rub your palms, bring in that element of fire. And then slide a hand to heart, a hand to belly. And feel that warmth on your skin. Noticing the time of day where you are, the time of year. Any connection to nature right now. Maybe you can see a plant or the window. Or an animal or child. They bring us into nature. And so this is a week of energy expanding, the mind expanding, the potential expanding, the moon expanding. And it's very important in expansion to feel into its opposite and know where to contract. And that's one of the big teachings of yoga in general, but especially lunar yoga. It is about the dance of Hatha, the sun and the moon. And so balancing out whatever's happening with the sun. And so honor yourself for taking time to check in today, this week, to practice with these energies, knowing that whatever you're experiencing is online. So many things stirring right now. And just Let your practice be your practice, your ritual, your sadhana, your sacred moon ceremony, because every phase of the moon is potent and important. And the waxing phase is, sometimes where the challenges come up, but it's also where we really start to experience the possibilities, and that can be scary too. So take a big, slow breath in. Hold it at the top, see if you can sit up a little bit taller, and then side out. And we'll chant to this waxing moon our Sanskrit mantra of Om Chandraya Namaha. We bow to the moon. You can join me, or you can just listen to the words. Take a deep breath in. Om Chandraya Namaha. Slide your hands down to your shins, and let's just very slowly start to create some spirals. To be very intentional with the movement today, because like I said, there's a tendency to want to go fast, to rush to the next point. And with some, again, very stern, firm air elements around us as well, we really need to be intentional with how we move, how we breathe, how we speak, how we communicate. And the best way to do that is through being in our senses and being in the moment and being responsible for ourselves. And that's an important word when we are working with sort of an alchemical cauldron of energies, right? Like responsible is the ability to respond. Fire and air are both very reactionary, right? Very much getting a reaction. And so responding is so different. And think about when you have like a controlled flame, like when you know the fire is safe in the candle or the fire pit, how powerful and potent that is. And so really respond to the breath and the movement in the practice, and let that be an intention for this waxing moon week as things expand and maybe those challenges or fears arise, or those potentials to react. Reverse the direction. What are your tools to respond? Being in your body, slowing down, taking deep breaths, making sure you're processing all the information coming in, whether through talking to someone that is trusted, journaling, movement. So fire energy does like to move. So making sure you are moving your body regularly, safely. Because like I said, this fire and air element is easy to be out of our bodies. And so bringing that awareness into the flow tonight, still honoring the potential of the fire and air dynamic, while also knowing that this week will bring us into the water and the double fire energy too. So an important piece of Aries season is to not burn out or burn everything down, because we still have 3 months of the season to go. Slowly bring it back to center, lengthen up, inhale, and then again, exhale it out. Switch the cross of your legs, just so we're opening up the hips evenly. Now we're going to work through some breath of fire. And as we do breath of fire, I want you to play with slowing it down. So a lot of times when we do breath of fire, we do it quickly. A lot of us learned it quickly. And if breath of fire isn't comfortable for you, you can just stay with a slow, deep, intentional breath. And most of you know breath of fire is focused at the solar plexus. It looks and sounds like this. So the exhale, we're sort of snapping the belly back, and then as you inhale, it naturally sort of comes in and out. You can also extend the tongue. But again, we're not hyperventilating. It's coming from down here. So when you slow that down, we can really get more intentional. So sit up nice and tall. And again, if this is too aggressive or just doesn't feel right, then just stay with a slow, steady breath. Otherwise, big breath in. So slow it down, especially those of you familiar with this breath. Slow it down, really exhale, and then let the inhale come back, and then exhale. Try to stay with it, but again, keep the spine long, slow it down, empty out all the way. And now the next time you exhale, exhale everything out. Hold the breath out. Hold the breath out. Round the spine back like you're in cat. Hold the breath. Hold the breath. And then draw yourself up and just take some seated cat-cow. So totally fine if you're feeling a little lightheaded or heated from that breath. So breath of fire is a great way to work that fire and air element through us, but then again, slowing it down, making sure it's coming from the solar plexus and not from the upper chest. And again, just finding some simple fluid movement. And then hold that cat back, arch back, round. And then bring it back up to center, sit up nice and tall. So we're gonna do another round of that breath, or again, just do a slow, steady breath, okay? So sit up nice and tall. Inhale, big exhale as we begin breath of fire. Can you make it even slower? Again, exhale everything out, everything out, everything out. Hold it out, hold it out. Round your spine back, really round it out, hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. And then bring it back up. Give it a little shake. And shake your arms out. Give your shoulders a little shake. Gently shake your head side to side. Take a big breath in, lion's breath, stick out the tongue. And then slowly start to make your way to all fours. So as you transition, just give yourself a moment to feel the difference in the body. So once again, aware of the senses. Aware of the space, spread your fingers, tuck your toes. And then again, pressing through the hands, drop the belly, open the chest into cow. And then exhale, round through cat, and then push back to child's pose. Inhale, come up through cow. Exhale, cat to child's pose. So let the breath lead the movement. And then hold that child's pose, sit back, stretch it out. Deep breath in. and out. And then round yourself up to standing up on the knees, reach the arms up, lift, and then find the side stretch. And just again, explore here. And again, if it's too much to be on the knees, you can always come to standing for this and then just modify. When we come back to all fours, you can use as much support or as little support as you want. Starting to feel a little bit of the core kicking in. And then hold to one side. Big breath. And then bring it up and hold to the other. And then lift it back up, hands down, push back, downward dog. Take a couple breaths, walk it out. Feet can be nice and wide. Whatever down dog feels good for you. Big breath in. Exhale, roll back to all fours. Inhale, stretch your right leg and your left arm up. Exhale, lower. Switching sides and starting to flow. So opposite arm and leg. Alternatively, you can always just do the arm or the leg if it's, again, too much to do both. Hold right leg and left arm or either. Breathe, lengthen, stabilize. Exhale, release, switching sides, left leg, right arm. Deep breath. Exhale, release, child's pose. Now inhale, roll up to cow, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale through cat, push back, child's pose. Inhale, come up onto the knees, lift up. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. Exhale, hands down. Push back, down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, shift forward, lower to your knees. Inhale, right leg, left arm up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, lower, push back, child's pose. Inhale, round up, cow, drop the belly, open the chest. Exhale through cat, back to child's. Inhale, up to your knees. Exhale, side bend right. Inhale up, exhale, side bend left. Inhale up, exhale, hands down, downward dog. Big breath in. Exhale, lower to your knees. Inhale, right leg, left arm up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left leg, right arm. Exhale, lower, push back. We're going to continue. So you'll flow through that cow, cat, child. And then push up to the knees for the side bends. Then downward dog. And then the balance. So we're going to stay with this for a little while. Now you can always skip things. So if it's too much to do the downward dog, you can just come through tabletop or child's pose. If it's too much to be on your knees, you can always come to standing and do your side bends and your balance, and then just transition through forward fold and downward dog. And then just listen to the body. So air and fire, and they like to move, but this particular flow is really working all the angles of the body, opening up the fire lines, the fire and air element, the meridians, and we have to stay focused on the pieces. So that makes us slow down. So notice if you start to speed up, which gets us a little bit messy. So you can leave something out if it's just not feeling right, or spend a little more time with it. Stay with your breath. And of course, at any point, you can hold that child's pose. And then the next time you come through that child's pose after the balance, stay there. Or after that, you can come back into down dog and just take a moment to check in. Notice the coherence between the body, the breath, the mind. Slow down the breath. See how slow you can make the breath. And then roll yourself up to all fours. Inhale, right leg and left arm up. You can hold the balance, or exhale, elbow to knee. Find a little pulse. Air and fire. Balancing, stabilizing. And then again, hold the balance, lift. Exhale, take the left hand down, drop the right foot behind the left heel, right arm up, supported side plank. Lift up through the heart, top arm straight up or overhead. Breathe. Exhale, lower it down, all fours. And then left leg, right arm up. Exhale, pulse, or just hold the balance or come in and out of that balance. Stay with your breath. Hold the extension. And then right hand down, left foot drops behind the right heel, left arm up. Breathe, really lengthen and stretch. And then release it to all fours. Pause here, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tuck your toes. Inhale, exhale, round through cat. And then keeping that cat back, lift your knees, let them hover. Feel into bear plank. So rounding the spine, lifting the knees, pull the belly in, take a breath. Exhale, you can push back to down dog or lower for child's pose. Take a couple breaths. And then make your way, step or hop up to the top of the mat. Feet hip distance apart, toes forward. And breathe it out here. So slow down the breath. Shake it out. Relax the head and the neck. Just enjoy that release. You can give the wrists a little shake. And then soften your knees, soften your knees, soften your knees, and then sit yourself down on your bottom. See if you can lift your feet for boat. So totally fine if you can't, keep the feet down. Otherwise, as you lower your butt down, lift up into boat pose. Lifting the chest. Again, feet can be down or lifted, and breathe. The arms can be up. You can hold the legs or place your hands by your side and breathe. Full breaths. So in boat pose, we want to hold the breath. Take another inhale. Exhale, cross your ankles, shift forward, step back, downward dog or child's pose. Inhale. Exhale, standing forward fold. Take some breaths. Shake it out. Let it all go. And then again, bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees. Can you lower your seat and lift your feet, or keep the feet down? Hold for boat pose, arms down or lifted. Soften the jaw, relax the face. So boat pose is a balance as well as a core opener. Lift up through your chest, take a big breath in. Exhale again, cross the opposite ankle over. If you think about it, shift forward, push back, down dog or child's pose. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, exhale, step, hop or roll yourself up to standing forward fold. Shake it out. Lengthen, release. How long can your spine get here? And then one more time, bend the knees, bend the knees. Then can you lower the seat, lift the feet, or place your feet mindfully for boat? You can hold boat or bring your hands together. Inhale, exhale, twist left. And then right. And you can do this with your feet down as well. Keep lifting through the heart, belly in. It doesn't have to be fast, right? Whenever we do fire stuff, we start to speed up. One more to each side. Come back to center. And again, cross the ankles, shift forward, down dog or child's pose. Now you can stay in child's pose. You can also start to move through cow and cat. Otherwise, if you're in down dog and you'd like to roll to plank, and then exhale, push back, downward dog. So as you inhale, think about extending the legs to come to plank, shoulders over wrists, and then put a bend in your knees and stick your butt up. So think about how when we were in that bear plank, so it's like you come to plank, start to bend your knees like you're in bear, and then roll your hips up. And that gets some really nice movement through the low back, as well as helping us to connect to the lower abdominals. And it actually starts to create more of a flow. So we do have a water waxing moon halfway through this week, and that is the first quarter moon, which is the half moon, which is considered the challenger moon, because the Cancerian cardinal water is all about nurturance and emotional. It's the great mother, versus the cardinal fire, which is the warrior, right? So different focuses. If you're working plank, pause in plank. Otherwise, you can stay in down dog or child's pose. Breathe into your plank. Plank can also be with the knees down. You can also do that bear plank where the knees are hovering if that felt more comfortable. Take another breath. And then exhale, push back, down dog or child's pose. Inhale. Exhale, step, hop, or roll yourself up to forward fold and pause. Shake it out, dangle it out, wiggle it out. You can take your hands behind the calves or under the feet. Just play with maybe a couple options of This pose, you can clasp the hands behind the back. Just letting that forward fold cool us down, ground. So we were in the Earth Moon over the weekend. We just shifted out of it today. So we don't have Earth for another week. So gotta find it somewhere. Big, big breath. Let it go. Bend your knees. Slowly, slowly roll. Give it a shake at the top. Roll your shoulders. Shake out your head. Do a little movement. Then find your mountain. Toes forward. Shoulders down. Long spine. Rub your palms. Place hand to heart, hand to belly, soften your knees in a circle. So coming into a little bit of that water element that we'll tap into this week, that first quarter. So feeling the effects of all the fire and air. Letting us just sense and feel. And reverse the direction. And just even close the eyes. Observe sound, sensation, smell, taste. And then bring it back to center. Reach your arms up, right hand to left wrist, pull up and over into our half moon. One version of half moon. And then bring it up, switch. And then inhale it up, exhale into chair. So sitting back into chair, make sure you can see your toes, feel your heels. Stretch your arms back behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up, straighten the legs. Exhale, sweep back, sit back into the heels. Find your flow. So again, can you keep this sort of slow and fluid? And you can determine what's appropriate for how deep you want to bend your knees. We are drawing the belly in, keeping the heart open. Even more. And this is the expansive time of the month. Everything sort of opening up. It can be a little intense, a little urgent, a little scary. Try to slow down where you can and responding versus reacting. Hold. Arms can be back behind you or circle your arms up or hands to heart. Push into your feet, lift your chest, soften your jaw. Deep breath in. Exhale, slide your hands to your hips. Keep the weight in the left leg. Step the right foot back into warrior one. Circle the arms up. And then exhale, straighten the legs, circle it back. Inhale up, warrior one. Exhale, sweep. Finding that flow. Doesn't need to be fast. And where can we bring the water into the fire? Right? We don't necessarily want to put out the fire that's gotten sparked this equinox new moon, but we do want that water to temper it. Good. Hold warrior one, arms up or down. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. Can you step back up into that chair? And then resume that flow. Coming back into that chair flow. Make sure your feet are still hip width distance, toes are pointing forward. And you can even slow it down even more. Hold your chair. Again, bring your hands to your hips or your heart. Weight stays in the right foot. Left leg steps back. Warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, straighten the leg, reach it back. Slow. Hold that warrior one, arms up or down. Big breath. Can you stay into that front leg as you step it up into your chair? One more time, find that flow. And slow it down. Sink it back. Keep your heart lifted. And then again, hold your chair. Lift up, soften, big inhale. Exhale, forward fold and straighten the legs. Whew, shake it out. Soften the knees. Step to downward dog. You can also lower to all fours. Reach the right leg up and knee to nose. Slow down that pulse. Again, you can do this from all fours. Draw the knee in, draw it in, and then move it towards the right wrist, coming into pigeon. Lower the back knee, square the hips. You can also come onto your back for sleeping pigeon. So lengthen your spine, lift your heart. Feel free to stay up or start to lower down. This is our cardinal water honoring here from that fiery flow. Now again, really let that fire and water start to blend. Slow down the breath. How slow can you make the breath? And you're welcome to use props under the arms, the head, the hip, or support the back knee also. Or lie on the back, cross the right ankle over the left thigh. That's lovely for the knees as an option. Slow down the breath. Stay in your pose, but take a big breath in. Open mouth, side out. And then if you're in pigeon, up on the, in single pigeon, you'll walk yourself up. Shift the weight to the right hip. We're going to slide the left leg around, place the left foot outside the right knee for the twist. If you're on your back and you've got the right ankle over the left thigh, you're going to roll your knees over to the right. Okay. So yes, so we're twisting to the left if you're up in pigeon, otherwise you're dropping the knees over to the right if you're on your back. Lengthen the spine, lift the chest. Big cleansing twist. Head can look towards the left or the right, and that right arm can wrap or hook. A lot of you have it hooked, and that's totally fine. Just depends on what's comfortable for the shoulders. Take another inhale. Exhale out the mouth. So if you were in single pigeon, you're now in the seated twist, you're going to unwrap and come back into boat. If you're on your back, you can unwrap, hug everything in, curl your head up. Or you can even roll up to boat, or you can stay there on the back curled in, otherwise holding. Take another big breath. Exhale, cross the ankles, push back, downward dog. Or child's pose, so give yourself a moment between sides. And if you're on your back, you can choose to stay there, or if you want to do the ab work before we go to the left side of pigeon. I already forgot about that. But otherwise, when you're ready, either from tabletop or down dog, left leg comes up, knee to nose. And honestly, if you skip them, it's really not going to make a huge difference. It really takes a lot of only doing one side to feel the results. Sometimes you might feel a little weird for certain stretches, but again, it's not a big deal. And then hold. Slide the knee up towards the wrist, come into pigeon on the second side or on your back, or stay on your back and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Whew. The left hip is super tight. And you can stay upright. You can put support underneath the left hip, underneath the back knee. You can lay down on something, put your forearms or your head down. And again, the question here is, how slow can you breathe? So that doesn't mean we're holding the breath. We are very consciously slowing down the breath. Big breath in, stay in the pose, but sigh it out the mouth, let go. And then walk it up, and we'll transition into the twist. So from single pigeon, the weight shifts to the left, the right foot slides around. If you're on the back with the left ankle over the right, just roll your knees over to the right. And then again, right hand behind you, left arm wraps or hooks for our sage twist. Head to the right or left. Inhale, exhale it out. So start to unwind. You can bring your hands behind you and then uncross into that boat. If you're on your back, you can hug your knees in and lift your forehead to your knees or rock up to boat. Breathe. Hands can be down, feet up or down. Find your boat pose. Take a big, big breath. And then soles of the feet together, roll forward. Let it go. Relax the face, soften the jaw. Inhale and exhale. When you're ready, round it up. And you can keep the soles of the feet together and even put support under the legs and roll back and take a Supta Baddha Konasana to finish. Or if you feel like you need a little more grounding, you can take the legs up the wall or the bed or traditional Shavasana. You can also just sit in meditation. But we do want to take at least a few minutes to seal in our practice. So a lot of fire, air, a little bit of water. So letting yourself, excuse me, speaking of a little bit of water, mine just went down the wrong tube. And even here, notice if your mind wants to start going. And can you slow it down either by really intentionally following the breath and slowing it? There's a saying in Sanskrit that is, as the breath goes, so goes the mind. So when we have a lot of air energy, we really want to tap into that conscious, responsive breath. And then also the senses. So anytime that fire and air is getting that sense of urgency or aggression, coming back into the moment, what are we hearing, feeling, sensing, tasting, smelling? It'll get us right back in this instant. And so being in the present is the only way to be responsive rather than reactive, to enjoy the process of transformation rather than trying to rush it or control it. So just let yourself slow down, resting back into the support of the earth, feeling the air flowing through you, maybe noticing where the fire is singing in your cells or in your belly. And that taste of water washing over us. Waxing moon, expanding, and also challenging. And so honoring yourself for tuning in to the more receptive energies of the moon, helping us to slow down, get present, set an intentional tone for the week. Monday is the day named for the moon. So it is, even though this class was on Friday for many years, which was fine because Friday is Freya's day, which is Venus, and that's another powerful energy to tune in with. But Monday is the moon day. And so getting to tune into the moon as we transition from weekend to week and sort of feel into that flow of the moon throughout the week, it is very nurturing for yourself and others, because the more we can respond, right, the less that our potential reactions will create stress or harm in other situations for ourselves or others. And ultimately, yoga, all kinds of yoga are about, reducing the suffering. And there's a lot of very intense energy that can be very aggressive around right now. So let yourself be held and breathe, supported from below and above, nestled into this waxing moon nest. Letting go for just a couple minutes. You are welcome to continue to rest. Otherwise, if you need to move consciously into the day, into the evening, begin to deepen the breath. Welcome back movement, or stay still and roll to one side. Eventually, you might find your way back to your seat. Whatever that comfortable seat is like for you. And your hands can find their way back towards the heart and the belly. Intentional, conscious contact with your skin, with your heart, with your belly. You give yourself a little rock. Bilateral movement, very soothing to the human nervous system. And we'll tone 3 ohms, Om circle style. First Om for you, second Om is an offering, third Om gratitude to our Mother Earth and Grandmother Moon. You can also just listen, or you can begin and end your 3 ohms when you're ready. You can draw back to center, rub your palms one more time. Left palm to the left, face up, right hand right, palm face down, as though we were sitting in circle together. Take a big, big breath into the heart. And then sigh it out, hands to earth. We bow, all blessings be. Thank you for practicing. Om Chandraya Namaha. Have a wonderful week and hope to see you soon. Thank you.